Okay, so I'm going to jump on the bandwagon of solving some Leetcode questions here. And I'm choosing this easy question, determine color of chessboard square. So you are given coordinates, a string that represents the coordinates of a square of the chessboard. Below is a chessboard for your reference. Return true if the square is white and false if the square is black. A coordinate will always represent a valid chessboard square. The coordinate will always have the letter first and the number second. So A1, false, it's black. H3, true, is white. And C7 is black, so it's false. Okay, so that makes sense. So I'm just gonna draw a chessboard here. We're gonna say A through, I think it's H, yeah, H. And then 1 through 8. And so we know this first square is black. All right. So we can say that we're going to call this the x-axis. So x. This is y. Y. And I'm going to write a hypothesis here. So this is a pretty easy question. So I spelled that the wrong. Hypothesis. Okay. So our hypothesis is going to say, so say this A through H can also be represented as its ASCII value, which will give us either even or odd. And I believe A starts at odd, an odd ASCII value, so A ASCII value. Okay, so A starts at 65, so it is odd. Right. So we can say if X is odd and Y is odd, right? We're going to return false. And if we go one over to B, that's saying that X is even, but Y still stays odd. In that case, we return true because that tile would be white. And we're going to do the same thing for the Y. So if Y is even, right, we can imagine this one's black, 2 would be white. So if Y is even and X is odd, we're going to return true. And if Y is even and X is even, so 1 over 1 up, we're going to return false because that square is black. And I think this makes sense. It should cover everything. So I can start coding up my solution here. I'm gonna go 1, 8, 1, 2, and we're gonna need IO stream to get our input. I'll use namespace standard. What do they call it? Bool square is white. Coordinates. I'm gonna have a main function that calls our solution class. Main. With string input. We're gonna read in our input. And then our solution, our answer equals sol.square is white. Input. And just for testing, I'll go cout. I always mix up the direction on these. Cool. So that should read in our input and call the square is white class, and now we just have to implement this square is white class, or square is white function in the solution class. And that's as simple as I'm gonna have an x character, which is going to be our first value in the coordinates, so coordinates. And our y one. Now we can go if we can group. I think we can group these false statements together, true together. So if x mod 2 equals 1, or y mod 2. Oh, wait. Okay. Y mod 2 equals 1. And this whole thing needs to be or now our second one, if y is even and x is odd. So y mod 2 equals 0, or x mod 2 is odd. You know, I think it would just be easier for me to write them out, like if right, return false. Then we're going to return false again. Now if x is even, and y is even and x is odd, then if x is even and y is odd. Okay. If y is even and x is odd, return true. Okay. We replace this with answers equals. And I think these still can be combined. So, Control V. This, we can say this, or paste. I mean, let's just test this. So A1 should be false and H3 should be true. So A1. So we could say answer true, else false. false, and then h3 should be true. Okay, so I feel comfortable with that. Let's just see if this works. And it passes. Cool. We can look to combine these if statements now, so sweet. So I hope that that solution makes sense to everyone. This is a pretty simple question, but I figured I'd start off with something easier. But yeah, that's the first video.